Friday. The Orioles got their deadline season started by sending left-handed reliever Gregory Soto to the New York Mets in exchange for two minor league right-handed pitchers, Wellington Aracena and Cameron Foster. We'll talk about that move as well as other moves we think could happen between now and Thursday's trade deadline with our guest. He is the host of Locked On Orioles, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's Connor Newcombe. Connor, good to have you back on.
Yeah, it's always good to be back. I'm actually a little surprised that, well, I guess if we count Baker, it's been two trades, but I'm a little surprised that there's only been one trade to this point, but it's also been kind of slow around the league. So maybe we'll get one as we're recording. That'd be fun.
Definitely would be fun. And I'll start back with the Soto trade. As I mentioned at the top of the show, the Orioles making this move on Friday to send Soto to the Mets. And in exchange, they get two pretty interesting minor league right arms in Wellington Aracena and Cameron Foster. Now, if you look at prospect lists, Aracena is clearly the more acclaimed player of the two. He's appeared on several top 30 lists, including a 14th place ranking over at Fangraphs. And just before the trade, the 20-year-old had been putting up very good numbers with Low A St. Lucie of the Florida State League. Since the trade, the Orioles have assigned him to Delmarva. As for Cameron Foster, the 26-year-old has pitched primarily at Double-A this year for the Mets. And as Nick wrote about on our Substack, OriolesOnTheVerge.substack.com this morning, when you lift up the hood, there are some interesting things with Foster beyond the stats that make him an intriguing prospect, though probably strictly a reliever. It's also worth noting that Foster is Rule 5 eligible at the end of this season, so the Orioles going to have to make a decision here in the coming months about whether or not to place him on the 40-man. But for now, let's break down this trade. And Connor, I will start with you. What did you think of the move?
Yeah, I mean, Eflin was among, I think, three guys for the Orioles that they're just going to deal no matter what. They're going to get the best deal and send them away. And that's Gregory Soto, Sir Anthony Dominguez, and Charlie Morton. I think at the point with those three veteran rentals, obviously Morton might retire, so you're probably not thinking about bringing him back. And for Soto and Dominguez, I don't know if I'd hate if either one was brought back on, a one-year deal this offseason or a two-year deal. But those are guys with big enough stuff where they're probably going to command multi-year deals because they're only about 30 years old. They've been very up and down in their career. It's not really the basket Mike Elias likes to play in for free agent relievers. And, of course, you're a selling team. So that all combines with they're going to be dealt. I think maybe the only surprising part on those guys is that teams are always looking for relievers, and so you might expect a little bit more they'd be dealt on deadline day because you just wait as long as you possibly can, keep fielding offers, and take the best one. But there's a chance that, especially on the Aracena side, where the Orioles just said, this might be the best, highest ceiling prospect we can get for a guy like Gregory Soto. The Mets have this offer on the table. Let's just take it, knowing that Dominguez is arguably the better weapon than Soto and could bring back more. And I'm not surprised that they ended up just kind of pulling the trigger there, knowing that, hey, Soto's not our only piece. We have plenty more to deal. It's okay if we make a deal, 6 days before the deadline, even if we maybe left a tiny bit of value potentially on the table if somebody else has a need. But the other thing is with the Mets, maybe nobody needed a left-handed reliever among the contenders more than the Mets. So maybe they always thought, hey, nobody's going to be more desperate. This is going to be our best deal we get.
I don't think any team was going to beat this offer. I mean, it's arguably just as good as the offer that the Orioles, or the trade that the Orioles made to get Soto last season, which I thought the Orioles gave up too much when they traded Moises Chase and Seth Johnson for him. I mean, Seth Johnson better pedigree than Cameron Foster, but I think Aracena probably better value than Chase had at the time, considering he's not Rule 5 eligible until after the 2026 season. Love Aracena. The more I've seen of him since the trade happened, and checking out his stats and videos, and yeah, I'm not going to spoil where he's ended up in my top 50 just yet, but it's in the top 30 area, so jumps right in there. And yeah, love the trade. And if this is a sign of things to come, I think the Orioles are about to really solidify the depth of the farm system.
Yeah, and not to jump ahead, but Aiden's comment there, yeah, Eugenio Suarez did just leave the game after getting hit in the hands. So not a trade live, but something that could shake up the next couple of days.
Saw the play, ninth inning in Detroit, Will Vest fastball. fastball. Suarez immediately went down. I mean, you don't want him to get hurt, but I mean, if you're Mike Elias, as weird as this sounds, you're not upset to see that happen. Obviously, there's something that keeps him out for a little bit, and he's back out there. But you hope it's in Diamondbacks uniform in 3 weeks.
Maybe the Tigers got word they weren't going to be able to land him. So hey, let's make sure nobody gets
him. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out over the next couple of days. Maybe Ryan O'Hearn does become one of the more valuable pieces at the deadline, and our thoughts around him change a little bit. But yeah, the Soto trade, yeah, I didn't mind it at all. Like I like Cameron Foster. Like you mentioned, he is Rule 5 eligible, but he's been assigned to AAA, so it's like get him up there with Justin Ramsey, get him there with the player development staff over the next, what do we got, about 2 months until the AAA season ends. See where he's at the end of the season. You know, it's a big fastball. It's 7 feet of extension when you look at his stuff. So it's clearly some things there to like. Looks a lot like Zach Fruit physically, like with the delivery as well. So you see probably one reason why the Orioles were interested there. And yeah, then Aracena, I mean, he's what, 20? I don't even think he's 21 yet. You get a young kid. Yeah, he's got some control issues, but he's a young arm, and those walk numbers have been improving from year 1 in the DSL to year 2 in the DSL, and then from year 1 in the States to year 2 in the States. So he's throwing more strikes this year. And like you get a 20, 21-year-old kid with what Fangraphs gives him a 60 grade current value fastball and 70 future value grade fastball. You'll figure out the rest of the repertoire as he continues to develop. But he's got that elite fastball there to bring into the organization. Yeah, I like this deal. We're 2 trades in so far, and don't really have any complaints so far up to this point.
So,
go ahead, Bob.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, just because Aracena, it was pitching in the Florida State League, which is like the only non-AAA league that gets StatCast data, we do have some Stuff Plus numbers. 4-seam fastballs at a 106, averaging 97.2 miles per hour, cutter 104, slider 100, curve 111, and changeup 121. So Stuff Plus likes his pitches, and yeah, his 31.7% strikeout rate, walk rate improving. The way the Orioles have been developing pitching the last couple of years, I like what they could do with him as a starter, but worst case, he's like a fireball and relief prospect.
Yeah, it's worth noting Aracena does not turn 21 until December. So you're looking at someone that probably will begin next year at high A as a 21-year-old.